Party today holds retreat in Abuja with speeches on how to fix Nigeria. This comes amidst controversies of a purported viral video of Mr. Peter Obi. The APC is kicking on what was said in that video. And reactions trail another viral video, this time that of the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, who was seen speaking in a purported video in Ebira language as opposition party raised alarm over threats of violence ahead of the election. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye in Abuja. Let's begin tonight by continuing our countdown on the ASU strike case. Now there is gone to industrial court, and the court has since adjourned that matter. It's now almost 213 days since February that the university lecturers gone on strike. They've been protesting the decision of the federal government not to meet their demands. The Minister of Education spoke exclusively to Channels Television, saying it's now left to the lecturers to take the request and what the federal government is proposing to them and get back to the classrooms. Nigerians are anticipating and waiting for everyone involved in this matter to resolve what has become a major national embarrassment. Let's tell you that some governors of the All Progressives Congress, APC, today visited President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. It was the occasion where President Buhari congratulated the governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, who's been elected as the president of the Forum of Regions of Africa, FORAF, in his capacity as chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF. The election was held after a conference in Casablanca region, Morocco, at the weekend. Receiving a delegation made up of Governor Fayemi, Governor Abdullah Sule of Nasarawa State, and Governor Abdullah Umar Ganduje of Kano State at the State House in Abuja, the president said, in spite of the security challenges we have in the country, it is good to see that other countries still believe in our potentials, and congratulated Governor Fayemi and the Governors Forum. So much to talk about tonight. We'll go to Kogi State, where a purported viral video showing Governor Yahaya Bello speaking in Ebira language, the opposition says is threatening violence, and they are calling on security agencies to look into details of what the governor said. We'll get reactions to that from the two sides of the divide tonight on the program. And first and foremost, we get to talk about what the Labour Party is up to. There was a retreat today. I will play you some of the soundbite of what was said at that retreat. Then we'll get reaction also from the APC. Mr. Festus Keyamo has been speaking on a purported viral video and what was being said and linked to Mr. Peter Obi. All of this tonight for you. But first and foremost, let's check out our political roundup stories.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reiterated its commitment to conducting a free, fair and credible election in 2023, as it assures voters that the votes will count. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, made the promise at a program to launch the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria in Abuja. Meanwhile, the European Union ambassador to Nigeria is appealing to political actors to shun actions that could undermine the country's democracy as political parties prepare for the campaigns later this month.
As a friend of Nigeria, we would like to see peaceful and issues-based campaigns.
Leaders and stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State have been encouraged to embrace unity, forgiveness and work towards reclaiming the state for the party and getting victory for Bola Tinubu. The appeal was one of the key addresses made by the national vice chairman, South-South of the party, Victor Gedum, and a former national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshomole, at a stakeholders meeting held in Benin City, where Mr. Gedum also apologized to Comrade Oshomole. The Federal High Court sitting in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, has reserved judgment between Bashir Sheriff Mechina, Ahmed Lawan, and two others to a later date for judgment. The presiding judge, Justice Fadima Tumurutala, after listening to arguments canvassed by all counsels, ruled that the matter was adjourned for judgment at a later date, which will be communicated to both parties in good time. The bone of contention is centered on the issue of two primaries, as opposed by the plaintiff counsel, Ibrahim Bawa. The National Industrial Court of Nigeria, sitting in Abuja, has adjourned to September the 16th the 2022 suit filed by the federal government challenging the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, over the industrial action embarked upon by the union since February this year. The federal government approached the court to seek an order for university lecturers to return to the classrooms while it continues its negotiations with ASU. At Monday's proceedings, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, sought to join the suit as an interested party. Speaking to journalists outside the court, counsel to ASU, Mr. Femi Falano, SAN, berates the federal government for going to the courts, just as the counsel to SERAP, Mr. Ebonlu Adegborua, SAN, urges the federal government to respect the agreement it reached with the striking lecturers.
When ASU declared strike, the members always covered lost ground, and they're going to do so this time. So there shouldn't be any blackmail.
The Senate President Ahmed Lawan is urging the courts to expedite the trials of persons caught stealing the nation's crude oil. Senator Lawan believes this will serve as deterrent to others. He was speaking during a meeting with the heads of security agencies at the National Assembly. Before the meeting went into a closed-door session, the Senate President commended the security agencies for improving the security situation in the country.
We have seen remarkable difference in the fight against insecurity in our country by our armed forces and other security agencies.
The Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Honorable Kennedy Ibe, has commended Governor Hope Uzodimma for the reconstruction of the State House of Assembly complex and making use of the state resources judiciously to initiate projects that have meaningful impact on the lives of the people of the state. Addressing newsmen in Owerri, Honorable Ibe says the House of Assembly has been a makeshift building for years before the governor intervened in the reconstruction of the project, which will ease their legislative duties.
Uzodimma means good roads. And today, the roads of Imo State, even the blind, feels it.
And the International Republican Institute is pledging support for all female candidates contesting the 2023 general elections in the country. Addressing female candidates of the All Progressives Congress at a campaign management workshop in Abuja, the country director of IRI, Mr. Santiago Stoker, says there is a need for women to be supported to enable them achieve their political ambitions.
We're working together to level the playing field, to empower female candidates here in Nigeria to fully participate in the electoral process.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Well, then, what happened today, I think we should begin from there and listen to some of the sound bites that may be of interest. Today, the Labour Party held a retreat in Abuja, the nation capital, and they were discussing how to fix Nigeria. Major stakeholders of the party met alongside the presidential candidates and some other candidates of the party that will be running in the 2023 election. They were brainstorming on how to position the party to win elections come 2023. Another agenda on the plate today was how Nigeria can be fixed from the purview of the Labour Party and his credentials. Let me allow you to listen to some of the speakers at that meeting today.
To say this year publicly, about 7 years ago, the government of Nigeria spent a colossal sum of 50 billion naira to acquire a software by Petroleum Equalization Fund to track and monitor all tankers that load fuel in any part of Nigeria. Today, you are being told that Nigerians have to be punished because of the criminal activities of smugglers. I've never heard that anywhere before.
5 weeks ago, I was in Philadelphia, and I had to branch to Alabama to visit the University of Alabama. I was told that 70% of the well of Alabama was actually aligned to the university. And I went there to see a professor in Nigeria. He said the best 10 are actually Nigerians. So what is going wrong with us is about harnessing our resources, both human and material, to be able to add value and make Nigerian citizens better.
You heard him. That's the Labour Party chairman, NLC chairman. And Mr. Ayuba Waba earlier was Mr. Femi Falana, rights activist, who was speaking there at the retreat of the Labour Party. Now, let me allow you to listen to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi.
Niger State is 76,300 square kilometers of land, fertile land. They can't feed themselves. They can't feed Nigeria. They can't export anything. Netherlands, minus water. Minus water is 33,000 square kilometers of land. Total agricultural export last year, $120 billion.
All right, that's a presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi. Now, there has been some controversies that have been raging over what Mr. Peter Obi said in a purported online video. Mr. Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, says, who is also the director of the Labour of the All Progressives Congress, APC. This is the reaction of the APC in this matter. The director of media and public affairs of the APC. Now he says, quote, "We find it utterly disgusting, demeaning, and insulting to the insensitiveness and sensibilities of Nigerians for a presidential candidate of the ilk of Peter Obi to make such a video parroting a spurious, unverified, and sham message that has the potential of deepening our faultiness as a nation and further promoting ethnic tensions." This is just a portion of what Mr. Festus Keyamo released as a statement today. So, let's discuss some of these issues. I'm being joined by one of the stakeholders in the National Consultative Forum, some of those who are coming together to work with the Labour Party. He was also there at the Labour Party retreat, which held today in Abuja. Mr. Yunusa Tanko himself was a former presidential candidate. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanko, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
Perhaps we should go to this controversy before we go into the business of the retreat that you held today. Did you see the video we were talking about of Mr. Obi?
There's so many videos making rounds.
So the one the APC is referencing is where Mr. Obi gave a telephone to someone seated beside him. Maybe the video was produced here in Nigeria or not. We cannot verify or know. But in that video, there was a WhatsApp message Mr. Obi was highlighting, and I asked the man to read out, which was inferring that voting on ethnic issues, Peter Obi or the Labour Party could mean that Igbos might lose their jobs, or voting Tinubu might, those kind of conversations were the kind of feeling that was generated from that video. And this was the reaction of the APC, saying your candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, is bringing up ethnic tension and making himself look like the victim. And they have alleged that him in fact, is the one that is orchestrating such ethnic division ahead of the election.
Well, let me quote Comrade Peter Obi just this afternoon when he was speaking. He said all of the presidential candidates, some of them are his senior brothers, and giving them so much respect as Nigerians leaders. He has never and will never derogate any individual, especially in the positions of leadership that already have established good relationship. he has always been interested in issue-based politics and campaign. Not mudslinging, not backstabbing, not even mentioning people's name. So, but we are also aware that there are certain individuals who are trying to pin issues of religious and tribal sentiment on our candidate. And we have always tried to run away from it. And that is the reason why such information that you have already been seeing and probably they are touting already, because that is exactly where the target is. And we have made it very clear, Peter Obi will not engage in any personal attack on anybody. So I doubt that particular verifiability of those particular statements that they are making reference to. And to say the fact, I think Nigerians have gone beyond these issues of personal attacks. And consistently, the oppositions are always trying to make a hay out of nothing because, quite honestly, our presidential candidates do not have time. His interest is the Nigerian people, and he's going to face the Nigerian people's issues.
One of the questions, and if you were following the conversation, is whether or not Mr. Peter Obi should have made that kind of video, knowing the kind of division already and how threatened the unity of the people of this country is presently, whether or not he should have even made the video and that video shouldn't have even seen the light of day. Do you think that there should be some caution?
I am so sure that that video was not made even by him. I am 100% sure, because he's not that kind of a person in the first place. Neither is he even an ethnic religious person. He doesn't belong to his interest is the Nigerian project. So how could somebody who has always been promoting, remember at the NBA conference, this is somebody who well done and almost giving respect to his former principal. People were even castigating him because out of his respect for leadership, for people who are older than him. So how do you expect such a person to make such a video, knowing fully well that he respects his leaders? Look, Nigeria is in a very serious situation. We don't need all of these particular issues. Let's face the issue that concerns Nigeria. Let's talk about their unity. Let's talk about their issue of religious sentiment. Let's talk about their disunity. Let's talk about how to put food on their table. Let's talk about how to secure them. But because people have already lost so much ground, they've put this country into so much bad situation, they are always looking at something to pin on Peter Obi. And we are not interested in that, honestly.
I mean, in all of the conversation, has your side realized some claims and some allegations about the manner in which you're going, your party and your candidate is going about its activities? Perhaps that may also help in the way and manner you go about your things, making inferences that your party or your candidate may be showing more of ethnic tendencies. Are you aware? Are you conscious of some of these tendencies?
In fact, this sounds like a story to me, because Ab initio, he has never been an ethnic candidate. He has never been a religious candidate. Every time you hear him speak, he speaks on the Nigerian project.
You probably have heard the criticism of his visitation to churches also.
Oh, of course. He is a Christian. Where do you expect him to go to? Obatala? No. You should be even grateful that he went to churches. You are not seeing him in shrines. There are people who cannot even come out and say this is where they belong. This is somebody who goes to God's place to worship God. This is where he went. He's a religious person. That's to show you how religiously inclined that he is. And anybody who believes in God should have been somebody that everybody should eulogize. But all of them who are going from one corner to another, you heard a lot of the shrine that most of them are going, but he's not going to shrine, he's going to church. For crying out loud. That is God's worship. And everybody should be happy that we are having somebody who is actually so religious.
Now, let's go into the business of your retreat. What was the retreat about?
Oh, you know, for the last decades in this country, Nigerians have been under tremendous pressure of lack of insecurity, economic woes, individual and deceptions, lies, All of these have been weighing on Nigerian people. And I think this is the first time in decades where we need to come together. There's what we call the triangle of faith, where God has already joined us together. The campaign organization, the Labour Party, and all other support groups. Now, this is the best time for us to come together and look eyeball to ourselves and mobilize ourselves, tell ourselves the truth where we are wrong, where we are going forward, and that's the reason why we are having a retreat to discuss with each other how we are going to actualize the dreams of Nigeria, having a country that all of them will be proud of. And what happened today is one of the most historic things that can happen in the history of Nigeria, where you see the NLC leadership led by Comrade Ayuba Waba. You see the TUC leadership under the leadership of Festus Osifo. You saw Professor Pat Utomi, the leader of the National Consultative Front. You saw all the leader of the party itself, led by Comrade Barrister Aburi, coming together to talk about Nigeria and to talk about how do we get it out of the wood. The reason why is that we needed to come together and talk to ourselves, and that was exactly what happened today. And I think Nigerians should be happy that today a new dawn has been established in this country, that where everybody, especially those in the working class people, have agreed to work together. They have made it publicly. So anybody who is in doubt that Nigerians are not ready to take leadership in 2023, today has been confirmed that all of us are ready to work together to emancipate Nigeria.
And I hope that we'll be able to put some of the images of that retreat so that we can speak to them tonight with my guests. So you're confirming to us tonight that Mr. Peter Obi has the affirmation or the endorsement of the labor unions, the NLC and the TLC. Is it that of the leadership or of the entire labor movement?
Of course, what you saw today brought in the entire leadership and including the state leadership from both TUC and NLC, the Labour Party, including the candidates of the political party itself. Everybody that is who in this particular movement were in that particular hall.
What is the labor group, TLC, NLC, and the workers? What are they bringing to the table? Why is it, on what grounds, at what congress, at what event did the labor body in Nigeria agree to make Peter Obi or Labour Party their party or their candidate?
Okay, don't forget they have what they call the political commission. Both the TUC and the NLC have political commission. There have been a meeting within those political commissions where an affirmative position is being made and discussions were made with all the chairmen of the political commissions that, look, we need to revamp and make our own party workable. And when it was agreed, the candidate of the party, of course, was Peter Obi. And at the end of it all, Peter Obi himself visited the Labour Congress Secretariat, he visited the TUC, and where they even gave him the document of the Charter of Demand and the other document of transformation agenda of the TUC. So these are preparatory ground for a synergy between the party itself, which is owned by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, including the principal himself. And so the grand finale of all of this particular ground swelling was what you saw today. So an agreement has been made, a confirmation has been made, and a pronouncement has been made. So anybody who is in doubt should now go and start rethinking. Yes, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC and all other groups, including the National Consultative Front, and any other Nigerians who believe to rescue Nigeria, today it has been crystallized and confirmed that yes, the workers of Nigerian people are ready to take back their country for the benefit of their unborn children.
What is the population that the Labour Party is projecting that the Labour will be bringing to the table?
You know, at a point in time, there were accusations and insinuations that we don't even have structure. Now, I'm quoting the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who spoke, which you say you are going to get some of the clip. He said that all of the structures of the NLC in the 774 local government will be brought to bear. So also is the TUC. So also is NC Front. So also is the party itself. So you can.
What are the numbers? Do you have the numbers?
Oh, the numbers are gone beyond your imagination because I'm talking about each offices, even in the world level.
What is the population of Labour? that you're latching on?
The population of labor is large in number. If I give you an X number, I may not be giving you an accurate number. So I would like to label my position on the population that comprises of all Nigerian workers, both in the TUC and the NLC. So you can do the mathematics.
So you think that with the labor, with the NCF and the supporters of the Labour Party, you are home and dry?
Yeah, because those ones too will become our canvassers. While they are hinging on themselves as workers, they have children, they have wives, they have siblings, they have brothers and sisters. They talk to them. So what you will end up seeing out of the 96 million registered voters, according to INEC, and then as regard to the 12 million that was added to the 84 that was done, which gave you the 96, you may be seeing a very large number of votes that is cut across, doubling the number of what we had in 2019 with the president won with 15 million votes. So we are expecting, if these particular working class people, with regard to their families, with regard to their brothers and sisters, and they reach out to everybody in the local government because we are targeting the ward level, believe me, we will have a large number of voters. And God knows, probably we'll be talking about 40 to 50 million.
Most of members of Labour, a huge population of the Labour Union are civil servants.
Yes.
Either in the state or at the federal level.
Yes.
Are you aware of the turnout and the voting population of civil servants within the general voting population in Nigeria? Are you aware?
Yeah.
Are you aware that it's very dismal? They rarely come out on election day.
Yeah.
Are you aware that most of them, the population, is even less than 15% at the last check of those of them who are registered voters, who are civil servants in this country?
Exactly.
Does this give you any worry?
No, not at all. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, the people are the one moving this particular...
No, the reason why I'm asking this question is because it looks like you are relying, since there is a criticism that Labour Party does not have a structure and perhaps your candidate does not have a deep-rooted structure to win an election, those are the criticism, and you're latching on the Labour Party structure to be able to work things out. And now bringing to you that the reality is that most of those you are relying on, the civil servants, are not your traditional voter in Nigeria based on history.
This particular election in 2023 is an unconventional politics that will come out.
Okay.
Let me be frank with you, John. For a very long time, the Nigerian workers are not comfortable with those who are leading them. For a very long time. So probably if you want to assert your statistics on that particular past glory or past issues, this time around is a different ballgame entirely. Showing people are going on the street, financing, they are mobilizing, they are producing billboards, they are feeding people by themselves using their own hard-earned resources. No single kobo has been given to any person to do match that you saw in Enugu, to do match that you see in Plateau, to do match that was proposed in Kaduna that was dismembered by the powers that be in the state for obvious reasons, because they know that when the people come out, it will be a monumental coming out. So even in Kano, there are people there. I have been to Sokoto, I have been to Kabi, I have been to Katsina, I have been to Jigawa, and I have seen myself, people building billboards by themselves. So what you will expect is that people are the one financing this project. It has never been done in the history of this country. Never. So the people themselves...
Have you concluded on the online donation scheme
you could see
that your
that
party is working on?
Today, they just unveil the online registration and even unveiling the free membership card, because there are so many people who want to register under the party, and they were given the opportunity now that the presidential candidate provided to make sure that everybody is given the opportunity to register, and it was free of charge. So people can now go into their wards, go into the Labour Congress's offices and ask for this particular card.
What about the donation?
The donation is another different thing entirely.
Are you still open to get donations from outside of the country?
When the time comes for issue donation, we will take care of it. But let me make this clear. We have not opened any account for any donation, because our principal is very mindful of those who want to pin issues of finances on them. And he has made it very clear that when even issue of finances come in, it will be publicly accounted for to show his prudency and his continuous accountability nature, which he has shown in the state of Anambra as a prudent person who spends the money for the interest of the people. And that is why some of them are finding it difficult to really, up till now, trying to debunk that particular issue of 75 billion now.
Alhaji Tanko, let's close. And on this note, I'd like to ask you, you must have a projection. You've run for presidential election before.
Yes, I did.
You've led a political party before.
That's
You've been in this game for a while.
That's right.
What is a projection of the Labour Party? Which are the states that in your mind, in your thinking, you think it's going to be easy? How many of them?
Sheung, I can give you off-head all of this, but believe me, I wouldn't want to divulge this information on the air now.
Maybe you're not sure.
No, I'm very sure. In fact, more than sure. But because, for strategic reason, because we don't want our opponent to start calculating and thinking that, okay, we are making permutation, they will go there and now. But one thing they should be ready for is that Nigerians are ready to take back their country. And they will do that in en masse. Cut across all of this Federal Republic of Nigeria, I can assure you that.
Alhaji Yunus Tanko, a chieftain of the Labour Party and a member of one of the leaders of the National Consultative Front, one of those groups that is coming together and putting support behind Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Thank you so much indeed.
God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I appreciate your time. We take a break, everyone. And when we return, it's going to be the time to speak about Kogi State and reactions coming from the opposition in that state based on a video showing the governor of the state, Yaya Bello, speaking in Ebira language. The opposition says they are threatening about what they describe as a violent threat from the speech of the governor. We'll dissect that and hear from both sides of the divide tonight. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Off we go to Kogi State, where the opposition in the state are not happy at the moment. They're, in fact, jittery. And this is because they feel that they are threatened based on what they inferred from Governor Yaya Bello's statement in an online video, which he said, which he gave in Ebira language. For those who speak Ebira language, some of them from Kogi State have interpreted that statement from the video as a political threat ahead of the election. They're simply saying that the governor, according to them, is asking supporters to hunt down those who are supporters of the opposition. And in fact, the promise is that he's going to return the votes in the state 100% for the APC at the expense of the opposition. But in truth, what does the video mean? What is the government saying? What is the side of Governor Yaya Bello in all of this? And you know what happens in Kogi State. The politics there is always very emotional and intense. Tonight, let's speak about the issues. I'm being joined by a chieftain of the PDP, a former state chairman of the SDP, and the spokesperson of Ms. Natasha Akpoti senatorial campaign. Of course, indeed, that is a theater of where all of this is happening in that senatorial district. And from Lokoja is the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Kingsley Fanwo. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight on the program. Let's begin with you, Mr. Atima. Give us a sense, because you are an Ebira-speaking Kogi person. In summary, what did you infer that the governor said in that purported video?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheung. I'm an Ebira man by birth. My father, my mother are Ebiras. The statement the governor made, we are not surprised because it's not the first time he's made this kind of statement. He practically came out to say it in Hebrew language that members of the opposition are taking a risk coming out during during this forthcoming election, most especially as we're preparing for campaigns. Why? We know where he's going to. The statement he made, let's look at it. He made this statement at Ihima Okehi local government. That is where our senatorial candidate hails from. That is where.
That is his village.
Our senatorial candidate, in person of Barrister Natasha.
That is our village.
Yeah, Akpoti Udua, that's our town. Ihima. The governor has not visited Ihima since assumption of office. He went to Ihima to flag off a purported job going to take place at Technical College, Oboroke. And he was displaying the candidates of the party. We are used to this.
So what exactly did you say? Did you think he said? Because what could have generated this heat about what the governor said must have been very, very big and very painful to you guys.
Yes.
What did he say?
He openly said that he was going to lead the fight. Anybody he sends and doesn't carry out the assignment well, he will deal with such persons. He was going to open up. There is something in Hebrew language, we call it era change, on people of the opposition.
What does era change mean?
Era change means he's going to take the lead in fighting. Era change is something that used to be, was a kind of fire in the olden days that our people use in pursuing attackers. So he's going to use era change on the opposition, which means he's going to come after us. Then if you go by this, by 2018, prior to 2019 election, exactly what happened now took place. Our supporters were killed, were maimed, houses were burnt at Ihima of Okehi local government area. And when you go and you look at this, all this that happened, was there any APC member that was at the receiving end? We were always at the receiving end. So he's coming out to openly say it. We just want to see this opportunity to call on the security agencies. They should investigate that statement.
All right. Let's hear from the other side. Speaking for the governor tonight is his Commissioner for Information, Mr. Kingsley Fanwo, who joins us from Lokoja. Mr. Fanwo, you've heard the allegation against your principal. First and foremost, did, in that purported video, confirm that the governor was actually at Ihima that day? Confirm to us that he was the one in that video.
I can confirm that very clearly. Good evening, Mr. Shehu, and good evening, viewers around the world. I can confirm to you clearly that the governor was at Ihima that day. He was there to flag off the reconstruction, remodeling of the Oboroke Technical School there, the government technical school at Oboroke, which is in Okehi local government area of the state. So I can confirm to you very clearly.
Now, can you confirm also that the governor, Yaya Bello, also said in that video, because it is in the Ibira language, but you don't speak Ibira. I'm very sure that you have friends or colleagues who speak Ibira. You may have had opportunity to get interpretation or speak to your principal on what exactly he meant in that video. He had changed, like he said. Have you confirmed the interment of the governor in that statement?
Let me analyze it this way, Mr. Cheung. I am a communicator. Immediately the video came out, I analyzed the video with those who understand the Ibira very well and those who are not biased, those who are not politically biased. And what they told me is what I hold to be the truth, because I was able to find out from various cultures what those words mean in Ibira language. And I will tell you that I'm going to liken this to someone who stole a knife and kept it in his pocket. The owner of the knife decided to come and use magnet on everyone in the house. Now, the person who has stolen the knife is the one making the loudest noise. No, we don't want magnet. Those who don't have knives in their pocket have nothing to fear. What the governor was saying is that he was going to go against the enemies of peace in Ihima, those who have been disturbing the peace of the people in Ihima. We are coming from somewhere. In the last dispensation of the PDP before we came into office, Ihima was the hotbed of violence. Many people in that area were maimed. Many people were killed. Many people were sent out of their communities till today. They've not been able to come back. It took the intervention of the governor when he assumed office to be able to restore the peace we enjoy in Ehima today back to Ehima. So what the governor is trying to say is, if you want to return this place to a place of crisis, a place of maiming, a place of killing, I am going to fight the enemies of peace. That is what he's saying. So if you are not an enemy of peace, you have nothing to fear.
Mr. Atima, you've heard the interpretation. Are you jittery about what the governor said? Are you misinterpreting what the governor said based on what Mr. Fanwo said?
I think I'm more a Ibira than Mr. Fanwo. I speak the language. I hear it. We are not jittery, but we are just looking at it that Kogi State cannot continue this trend. Anytime we're approaching an election year, violence, violence, violence. I challenge the Commissioner for Information. He should please tell me, what is the security challenges we have in Hima now that we call for this?
Can you identify beyond the word you said earlier that is related to violence in that video?
Yeah.
Because he said that the governor didn't mean violence. He just said that he's going to meet those who are planning violence with force. That's what, I mean, if I quote you right.
Yes, well, that is strange to me because I hear the language. Everything he said, I don't need an interpreter to interpret for me.
Can you pull out
what I'm trying to
part
say
of that video and what he said and translate it so that Nigerians can understand what comes out as violence in that video?
Okay, he made a statement. After his statement, one of his aides, the Auditor General, local government, also went and made that same statement. It was not just in one location, he made that statement. He made this statement in about three different locations.
We want to know what was said.
Yes,
what was said?
Yes,
what are the things that were said?
The thing he said was
that make up
when he raised the hands of their candidates up, he now mentioned that this is a fight. Sorry, can I go?
Go ahead. What does that mean?
Yes, this fight we are going into now is the one that I must justify my being a white lion or not a white lion. That he's not going to take chances. That he's going to go after the opposition.
And you saying that is a threat to you people? I mean, to the opposition, that's what I mean.
We are not, yes, it's a threat to us, but we are looking at it this way, that where we are coming from in Kogi State, we don't take things like this lightly. Prior to 2019 election, we had it ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. What followed after? Mrs. Salome Abu, a PDP woman leader, she was burnt in her house. We need to call on the security agencies to investigate these statements so that the forthcoming election, we could have it peaceful because the people of Kogi Central are determined. They want a change in the leadership.
Mr. Fanwo, you've heard, they said there is a trend. And when if there is a trend, is it possible that your principal is able to douse the tension by saying that I did not mean arm or violence in that statement? Maybe it was misconstrued. Can you confirm to us that your principal can go out and tell the people of the state? Because if the opposition says in your state that they are not, they are too scared because of the statement of the governor, what is your government going to do about it?
Let me tell you this: they have no reason to be scared of anything. I would confirm to you, I am not here to apologetically kowtow to the propaganda of the opposition who wants to make a storm in the kickoff. So that's not what I'm here to do. We are maintaining that stand that this administration has returned peace to Ehima. If for any reason of any political desperation, some people are planning to return the violence that marred the lives of many people in Ehima in the past. If these people want to bring such violence back, what the governor is saying is that as the chief security officer of the Kogi people, I am going to fight the enemies of peace anywhere in Kogi State, not just Ehima, but anywhere in Kogi State. And that is what we are unapologetically standing on. We are not going to kowtow to the propaganda. If you know you are for peace, you have nothing to fear. But if you are bringing back violence, let me give you an instance.
But Mr. Fanwo, apologies. Part of that statement that was that the governor was said to have made in that video was that he's planning and he means business of returning his party 100% in most of the position. This is the amateur video that was seen online. This is the controversial video right there. Unfortunately, the speech of the governor was in Ebira language. Can you speak to that statement that he's going to, by whatever way it's possible, is going to return APC 100% in the state?
He did not say by whatever way possible. And as the leader of the All Progressives Congress in the state, his ambition should be to return the party 100%, to ensure that the people of the central, of the east, of the west vote massively for the party. And if he's saying that he's going to defeat the opposition, that doesn't mean he's drumming war. No, that is not a drum of war. He's going into a competition that is guided by rules, a competition that is guided by the Electoral Act, a competition that you need peace and security to be able to ensure you have free and fair election. So he's saying he's going to defend them. So
are you satisfied by what Mr. Fanwo said?
No, I can't be satisfied with what Mr. Fanwo is saying because it's definitely defending.
He's giving assurances, and he said, well, they are unapologetic about their stance against violence.
Yeah, you see, you say you are fighting, you are coming to preach. Why is it when you present your candidates, you say these kind of things? When you presented your candidates for the Senate, for the House of Reps and the House of Assembly, and you saying this? No, it's not good. What we are after in Kogi State, we've written a letter to the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies. They should investigate the governor's statement. And they should please provide us security so that we will have an enabling playing ground as they will soon lift the ban on campaigns. With what the governor is doing, we don't have the confidence on him that he could protect us. But they are forgetting something. The governor is also my governor. I'm his constituent. He owes me the right to protect me. But when you intimidate us, using funny languages, we're all Libera people. You are threatening us. But the good thing there is that the people of Kogi Central and Kogi State as a whole have resolved that they are determined they are going to vote for the People's Democratic Party's candidates in all elections.
All right. Let's bring this conversation home. And Mr. Fanwo, since you're here, there are a few other issues in your party. For example, for those who say, oh, there's been some meetings of the governors of your party, which your principal is one, and your governor is obviously absent or missing in those meetings. And those who said, look, the opposition is really working hard to remove your party from prominence.
Thank you. Before I go into that, Mr. Sheung, I need to properly enlighten the PDP man at the studio on the issue of security. If you are saying that you have no confidence in the chief security officer of the state, a governor that is bent on ensuring security, a governor that has zero tolerance for insecurity, if you are afraid of him, then the whole world is already aware that what you want to bring to the state is tension, violence, and insecurity. If they know that is not what they are after, they have nothing to fear. Then on some of the meetings you are talking about, we are working very hard in the state. Votes will not come from body alone. Votes will come from the grassroots. On Friday, the governor met with all the local government chairmen of the party at the Glass House in Lugard House in Lokoja. On Saturday, he met with all the ward executives, not just ward chairmen, but all the executives in all the wards in Okehi local government, and Adavi, and also with Dekina and Bassa. And today, Monday, he has met with all the world's executives, all local government chairmen, all party chairmen from Kababunu and Ijumu local government. And the message is very clear. We have done enough to win all the seats in Kogi State. Take the message to the grassroots, be peaceful. We come in peace, but we mean business. And what we want to achieve under the leadership of the governor is to ensure that there is no seat that is left not won by the APC of that election. So we are doing what is necessary in the state. We don't have to go to Bodilon to be holding meetings and leave the grassroots unattended to. That is the wisdom behind what the governor is currently doing. He's 100% behind the presidential candidates of the party and the running mates, and also 100% behind all the candidates of the party. He has said it very clearly that he started his politics in APC and is going to end it in APC. So he's going to give it his all to ensure that APC clears all the available seats in the state. That's why these people are jittery. That's why they are saying they don't have confidence in the chief security officer of the state. If you are not coming to perpetrate violence, come and do your campaign.
We need to close now. Just in 30 seconds, your final thought.
We're calling on Nigerians to wade into this video that the governor, we saw what the governor said, and we call on Nigerians and the security agencies to please investigate. And we are also saying, if anything happens to PDP members in Kogi State, I think we should know who to call. By the grace of God, the good people of Kogi State are tired of what is happening in the state now and are ready to enthrone PDP candidates at all levels.
Mr. Fanwo, your 30 seconds for a final thought.
Thank you very much. What we are saying to them is that they should come and have their peaceful campaign. If you are for peace, we are for peace. But if you are for violence, we will show them that we have put in place an architecture that takes care of violent people. So we want everyone to be very peaceful. We are committed to peace in the state, and we are going to do everything possible to ensure we have peaceful electioneering ahead of the 2023 election.
Kingsley Fanwo is the Commissioner of Information in Kogi State, and Mukhtar Tima is a chieftain of the PDP, spokesperson to senatorial candidate in Kogi State, Natasha Akpoti Odwahan. Thank you so much, Mr. Tima, for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Well, before we close the program, when we're talking about the Labour Party matter earlier, one of the persons who spoke was Mr. Ayuba Waba, the NLC president. I'd like you to listen to a specific portion of that statement he made and how the NLC will put support behind the Labour Party presidential candidate. Take a listen to Mr. Ayuba Waba.
But it's to remind us where we're coming from. It's to remind us of the enormous task of what we need to do and to promote candidate of the Labour Party, but also go to the field. Particularly our youth, I'm so happy that the youth have aligned themselves with the structures and the struggle of the working class with their parents, because we are actually parents to the students and the youths. And I'm happy that they are now realizing that agonizing alone without organizing cannot take us anywhere.
Well, then, that's the NLC president, Mr. Ayuba Waba. Well, that's how we'll leave you tonight on the program. Many thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm sure Kimbale. Bye for now.